an acknowledge. They acknowledge that you are showing a bit more skin.
Then I gotta ask, what were you wearing?
My expectations was more like polite, reserved people. Everyone here's like...
Hey guys and girls on Ask Japanese, it's your flashy fashion reporter, Kathy Cat. Today we're gonna hit the streets and ask the foreigners here and find out Japanese people before you came to Japan and now that you're here in Japan, has your image of them changed at all? Let's go find out and ask foreigners in Japan.
I think a lot more accommodating with the English language. I thought it would be a bit more alienating than it is, but everybody tries to be as welcoming and I suppose make it easier for you, especially if you're lost or things like that, or if you just need to ask any retail questions, they'll do their best with Google Translate and all that. I thought it would be a lot harder than it actually is. But
what do you think would have been harder? What did you expect?
I expected that I would just be on my own pretty much. I'd have to Google Translate everything, but everybody wants to meet you halfway, which I thought was quite nice.
I think you guys had like some sort of not a negative stigma, but like an image of what a Japanese person is like, and has it changed over time?
My only thing was probably the modesty thing. I think as well, just back home, I usually this is a bit more of a modest outfit. I usually dress a bit more extreme.
This is modest?
Yeah.
Hold on. This is modest?
I usually a bit more unzipped at the top, but I feel like that's kind of still not as acceptable here, but I don't really mind. It's also colder weather, so I don't feel like I need to, but I think in the summer I would struggle a lot.
So your image was that they're quite modest and coming here. You were right.
I think a little bit, yeah. I think I wore a bit of my stomach showing on Halloween, and I wasn't sure if I got stares just because of what I was wearing or because of that. But I did notice it was an acknowledge. They acknowledge that you are showing a bit more skin.
Then I gotta ask, what were you wearing?
A very tight corset, tights, and I had a very pretty pleated skirt that I thought was very nice and modest because it was quite long, but it did have a slit up the side.
Oh. Halloween, damn! What did you expect of Japanese people before you came, and what has changed now that you're here? What have you learned about Japanese people?
My expectations was more like polite, reserved people on trains and everything. And then all of a sudden I'm here and I'm making a ton of Japanese friends and we're going out like drinking and everything and parties and everything. Everyone here's like more open than you'd think people would be.
It might be the communities we live in because we're in language schools. So I live in a share house currently. You get a lot of exposure. So it's half Japanese and half foreigners. And so you get taken out a lot by them and you get introduced to other Japanese people who are maybe more alike than you would think. But in the same way, it's like they're still very polite and still very normal and like the things that you would expect. But when you go out drinking, first off, Japanese people can drink you under the table all night long and then wake up at 7 and go to work. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
How do they even do that?
I don't know.
Waking up in the morning, oh my God. And then I'll see like my share housemates, they'll just be like getting ready and it's like 5 a.m. and they're like, okay, I'm going to work. I'm like,
so no names. But there is a girl in my house. She comes home from work in her work outfit, immediately grabs a bottle off the table, starts drinking, passes out. 2 hours later, just changes her outfit and goes back to work. It is the most aggressive thing I've ever seen in my life.
the like work fun life balance here is so good. People can just like instantly get up and get going.
Oh, one other thing is as a foreigner, it's different now. So we came before the borders were open for tourists, but I did notice that I always thought like if you're going into a restaurant or you're going into a konbini or a cafe or whatever it is, or an izakaya especially, the people there, I thought I would be more nervous ordering because my Japanese isn't very good. It's like good enough to ask for directions and stuff, but they're always super kind, super interested in what you're doing. And we like, whether we go out to a random bar at like 5 a.m.
Except the American bar, bro. We went, it was like the American theme bar and we're like, that's the funniest thing we've ever seen. So we go in there and they don't like American. They're like,
But
there's an American theme bar
in Yokohama.
That doesn't like Americans.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was just the language barrier, but the guy was not happy that he had Americans in the American diner.
We can be a lot.
We weren't even loud. We just walked in, we sat down, and he's just like, and ignores us.
If you go in and you, like especially small like side izakayas that you might be nervous to go into, or like small ramen shops that have limited seating, if you go in and you're open and you're kind, a lot of the times you'll leave with like pictures with the person who owns it, or the chef, or the cook, or whoever it is, and it's super nice. Be like, if I had one tip for people coming here, like don't be loud or rowdy, but like be able to be comfortable talking to people, even if you have limited amount of Japanese.
Maybe especially if you have limited amount of Japanese. It seems that they're like, hey, tourists.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
The other night we walked into this one bar, right? And there were only like 6 seats, right? they're all full except 2, so it works. We sat down, and by 6 a.m. we're singing karaoke with all like 4 of these people. We're just singing karaoke by then, all
We
exchanging
have
lines.
like the
just
worst
need
pictures
to
of us
open.
ever taken at
Oh
like
my
6
God.
a.m. as we're crawling out of the place.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah, don't let my
Yeah.
parents see this.
What was your impression of Japanese people before you came, and now that you're here, has it changed?
Okay, so what I thought about Japanese people was that they're usually very reserved and introverted. And when coming here, it didn't really change much because I still feel like they're very more sophisticated and they don't really talk a lot. But I think that's because they're not really confident in speaking English. So when you try to get to know them a little more, and also with the people that speak more English, they're really friendly and they always try to help.
So you're still very reserved. What kind of circles are you in right now? Studying, working?
It's more students, definitely. But I also, like, on the streets, whenever I go out, like on the weekends, I also meet a lot of people and they're more open, I guess.
Are the Japanese people wilder in Kyoto? Or is it just the student life surrounding that give you different experiences? Something I would love to know and love to find out. It's interesting to see that recently a lot of people saying, some people say Japanese people are quite shy and it's hard to break the wall, and then other people say, no, it's actually totally fine. But I guess it's probably nature, nurture. Also, it depends on the environment you're in. But we have asked foreigners in Japan some really good questions about life in Japan here. Be sure to check out this video if you haven't already. And if you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend who might need to know it. Catch you soon. Bye.